Brennan, you explored a topic that not a lot of people know about, which is 3D nipple tattooing for women who have gone through reconstructive breast cancer surgery. What initially piqued your interest about this story?
Well, like you said, it's not something a lot of people know. Something I knew nothing about. I mean, obviously, cancer is way too common. It's affected probably pretty much everybody, either themselves, a family member, a friend, a family member, a friend. It's touched everybody's lives in some way. And breast cancer is the most common type of cancer in the United States. And what I think a lot of people don't realize is even if you survive breast cancer, it's a miracle, but there's still a whole other process after that. So what happens after that step? And for many women, it's reconstructing your breasts. And then it turns out that plastic surgery isn't advanced to the point where a woman who's had her breast reconstructed actually has a nipple, or what looks or feels like a normal nipple, and that has psychological effects. And so that's where the story took over. Now there's a way to recreate a nipple and an areola through 3D tattooing, which is a term I'd never heard before we started this project, before we started working on the story. And when you talk to women who have gone through it, they say, "Now I feel complete. Now I feel, finally whole again."
So for you, when did you have that wow moment where this story became very real to you and had that just emotional connection?
Well, I think obviously as someone who's not a woman, I didn't totally understand why this was so important until watching, first time we sat in an operation room at a plastic surgery clinic in Raleigh and actually saw a woman go through this process from beginning to end. And, when she first got undressed and you see the scars, you see the toll that cancer's left behind, and then an hour and a half later, the procedure's complete and it looks like a normal breast again. It looks, complete again. It's kind of the theme we keep coming back to. And you see the nervousness on her face before and then the smile on her face afterwards. The first time she looks in the mirror and realizes, oh, I feel good about myself.
So compare what you thought you were getting into before with this story to what you actually came out with.
I think when we first started working on this, I wasn't really sure what to expect. Doing research on these sorts of tattoos, and there's many different types. Some women who, especially those who don't get reconstructive surgery, get sort of a chest piece tattoo of one I saw on the internet was a phoenix because it symbolizes rebirth. But this is Tara, the tattoo artist we focus on, and cancer survivor, focuses solely on doing the nipple tattoos and the areola and scar camouflaging. So at first I thought, oh, is that interesting enough? Because it's just what it's going to look like before. But that's the whole point. That's what it should look like, what it looked like before.
So yeah, these women are going through a very transformative process, and you heard 3 different women's stories throughout this. What was it like hearing their stories unfold for you?
What's amazing is the 3 women we talked to, Tara, the survivor who went on to do this for make a career out of this, and then also the women who were her clients, was that they were all so different in age, different in personality, their family, everything about them was different, but they had all been through the same process. So it's like that immediate sort of bond they had. That was really interesting. And then, as they each explained their process, you realize how, this is so common. There are thousands of women who go through this every day. It's either a routine mammogram screening, that catches something and then they have to go see a doctor, or they notice something, whatever it is that tips them off. And then you get those devastating words of you have cancer, and the years that follow of every doctor's appointment, and they would talk to each other and they would share their stories with each other about this, and you realize how no matter who you are, cancer can affect you, and no matter what, it's going to be a long, hard process, but if you make it through, now, for women who survive breast cancer, now there's starting to be a way to reconstruct your body, which is pretty incredible.
So you went through these emotional interviews, we went through them in the editing process, and you come up with a piece that you bring up about halfway through the process, and you take that to New York, where you sit in front of the 60 Minutes higher ups, as we can call them, and show them the piece. How did it feel after that kind of an emotional journey for you as well, going through these stories.
Yeah, I mean, I think any story you work on, you start to become, especially one that's this in depth, you become emotionally attached to the characters in the piece. So and your goal is to have the audience who's never met these people, never spent any time with these people except for the 7 or 8 minutes of your story. You want them to have the same connection, and I think I would like to think we succeeded. I think we showed the emotion that they had, that their families had. One of the things that Mr. Owens, Bill Owens, the executive editor of 60 Minutes, said at the end, and we talked about afterwards, was he said, "This was my favorite kind of story because I learned something I never knew or I didn't know about. I learned something new." And so that was pretty cool for us. As we were talking afterwards, that we showed somebody who's covered stories ranging all over the world, all over the country, from health and science to war and politics, whatever it might be, and we were able to teach him about something new. So that was a pretty cool moment for us.
You brought something new to him.
Yes, exactly.
It's fantastic. Thank you so much, Brennan.
Thank you.